Hello, friends. This is Sam Traney reporting for Weaponized News. Today, March 19th, 2025. We're almost to spring. We're almost to the spring equinox here coming up. We're counting the days. I think we have 1 or 2 days left. It's either the 20th or 21st, depending on your calendar, how you see it. Thank you guys for joining us. We're on YouTube again. I'm going to be a better producer, follow their community guidelines, and we're going to do the YouTube until we aren't on YouTube. You can find Weaponized News on Rumble, BitChute, Facebook, X, Twitch. So if we're not on the YouTube, we're on all these other channels that you can go find us on. I want to start the show reading a email from a viewer. The viewer says that they were a viewer on the Rockfin, right? And we've just been rugged from Rockfin last week. And so the viewer says the subject line is Rockfin's dirty dealing, indeed. So they say, Sam, it took me a couple days to understand that Rockfin banished you. This is an outrage since I subscribed to Rockfin to avoid censorship. I understand that they used a different excuse to ban you. If you can find a customer service number or site, I will be complaining. Well, it's John, I guess I can say his first name, a regular viewer of the show. Thank you for viewing, John. I emailed him 3 times over there at Rockfin, 3 times, and said, hey, what happened to my channel, man? No reply. So literally no communication saying they were going to do this, even saying why. I guess people dug up from, it wasn't just me, it was quite a few accounts, but people dug up, and then I guess they did put out an official statement on X. You should be emailing your damn customers that have crypto in your friggin' stupid fake wallet and your stupid fake crypto. Anyway, no email. They posted on X that they're a subscription service, and basically, if you're giving your show away for free, we don't want you on there. You know what I'm saying? Basically, that was their. But they said nothing of the sort. And then people went back and read their terms of service and said, look, you guys never said anything like this, that because there's no advertising on there, right? So it's subscription only. I do understand that part, but the way they, no communication whatsoever is the problem. If they would have sent out an email saying, hey, you guys got to get in line, start they give you the option when you load the show, free or subscription, right? I put a few shows up there, subscription. I was like, what the hell? You got to pay to subscribe to most shows on there. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? They shouldn't even give us the option for free. It should have been everything subscription. That's the way it is. Anyway, they did it. They did me dirty. A bunch of other people the way they did it. No communication, and just pull the plug and keep all of our crypto that we had there from donations as well. Anyway, thank you, John, for reaching out with that email. I appreciate you looking for Weaponized News. As I said, we're on these other channels, and yeah, Rockfin are dirty. Dirty, no communication, nothing. So that's that story. What do we got in the news? The JFK files, a few things here and there came out. Everybody's still blaming aardvarks, blaming George Bush. Probably not bad entities to blame about the whole JFK assassination there. So we'll go over some of that. A few documents with some interesting details I saw reported we'll cover here. No real groundbreaking revelations, I don't think, so far. But I mean, there was a lot of documents, and honestly, I haven't read any of them. I clicked one, opened it. I was like, yeah, I don't have time for this. You know what I mean? So I'm just going off other reporting that I think we can trust that cite the actual documents. So, I mean, that's about as good as we can do here. at Weaponized News. There's a standoff at a CIA headquarters today. Very bizarre. Is CIA staging false flags on himself? Maybe. Or is it just, who knows? A lot of back and forth. All of Trump's stuff's getting blocked. All of his executive orders, all of his edicts are being blocked now by judges, as we said here, because that's how they do. So we got the comings and goings of the entire government, Trump included, corrupt. Sorry to tell you, MAGA. We just like his flavor of corruption a little bit better, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what people's deal is. It's the whole thing. See, I'm consistently against government. If you put a Democrat in there, a Republican in there, a Libertarian in there, a freaking Green Party, I don't care who's in there. I'm against the government because they're against me, as you should be as well. And it's thoroughly corrupt from top to bottom. And it's been proven here now that the Constitution has failed to protect individual natural rights, which is the whole point of the whole thing. Why even have a government? Allegedly, supposedly, we have a government to protect our natural rights. Well, they failed. They intentionally do tyranny against us, violate our natural rights. Therefore, the government is illegitimate at this point in time. And we're not self-governed. All left-wingers are outraged about the oligarchies taking over. The oligarchy's been in control of this country for probably the whole damn country since its founding. So where you been? You know what I'm saying? It's beyond stupid, but hey. And when their guy gets in there, a Democrat gets back as president, it's all going to be forgotten. It's idiocy. I just can't take these people. So they're doing a lot of violence here now. We denounce violence on the show because we recognize the fact the state has a monopoly on violence. And we're not going to violate that monopoly. And honestly, I don't believe in offensive violence. We need to use self-defense to defend ourselves. But unless we're being attacked or are fearful for our life legitimately, then we have no reason to be using violence against people or their property. But there's mass violence here now against Tesla, against Elon Musk. They're threatening his life. We have a bunch of these stories, attacks everywhere. It's quite horrific, honestly. There's no excuse for this. And from, quote, climate change groups. 2 years ago, they would attack you if you didn't have a Tesla, saying you hate the environment and you're a climate denier. If anybody has a memory, I know having a memory is a conspiracy theory, but I kind of have a little bit of a memory. I'm trying to kill my brain cells, but I still can remember the good old days. So what else do we got here? We have Ruckus on the line from Alternative Current Radio. Hope I said that right. I think I said it right. We got geopolitical news, the ground invasion. Aardvarks have invaded Gaza with ground operations. So, yeah, kicking it off there. The genocide continues. And we have other geopolitical news. There was a phone call today with Trump and Zelensky, the back and forth there. Maybe we're going to have a peace deal in Ukraine, between Ukraine and Russia. Why is it even our business? It's really not, but seems that it is. All of that and a lot more on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. There's some people over there on the YouTube. Well, glad to see you guys on the YouTube there. And the Rumble. Thank you guys for tuning in on Rumble. I don't see the viewers over here yet. As I said, Rumble's not fully integrated, but I do see you in the chat. So thank you guys for tuning in on the Rumble, the YouTube. Okay, this day in history. On this day of March 19th, in the year 1831, the first U.S. bank robbery occurred in America. The Citibank of New York was robbed for $245,000. That was a lot of money in 1831. In 1866, immigrant ship Monarch of the Seas sank in Liverpool. 738 die. 1942, FDR orders men between 45 and 64 to register for non-military duty. Also, we have two events on 1945, of course, World War II. 800 killed as kamikaze attacked USS Franklin off the coast of Japan. Also on this day, 1945, World War II, Hitler issues Nero decree to destroy all German factories. At this point, he knew he was losing the war, right? And he was trying to not leave anything behind for the Allied forces. In 1987, famous, I remember this guy vaguely. How old was I in 1987? I don't know. If I was born, I was like 9 years old, 10 years old. Anyway, Jim Baker, televangelist, resigns amid rape accusations by his secretary, Jessica Hahn. So a very good Christian there, Jim Baker. In 2003, airstrikes by America and UK lead a coalition signaling the beginning of the invasion of Iraq. And so don't you love it? We attacked every country in the Middle East that had nothing to do with 9/11. Don't you just love it? It's quite striking, actually, when you think about it. And I thought about it at the time, too. I was like, and I didn't even know anything about it, right? But at that time, I thought terrorists really attacked us, and they were bad terrorists. But I even thought to myself, how the hell did they hit the Pentagon, right? Before I knew anything about anything, I was like, I thought to myself, I remember, how the hell did they let them hit the Pentagon? And why are we invading Iraq when they never even said? Of course, it was the fake weapons of mass destruction, but and they did this cloudy thing where somehow Iraq and Saddam Hussein were involved in 9/11, and none of that. I mean, it was just garbage. But according to Madeleine Albright, was it over 500,000 dead Iraqi children was worth it? Just evil, man. What do you even say to this? But we do thank George Bush, right? America. If you're not with us, you're a terrorist, and they hate us for our freedom. In 2020, California lockdown with 910 cases of the bat disease out there. Stay-at-home orders were issued on this day by Gavin Newsom, who's attempting to remake himself as a moderate. As I continue to report here, he will, any which way the wind blows that he believes is going to give him power, he will go that way. So be careful of Gavin Newsom. Also on this day last year in 2024, philanthropist. Anytime you hear the word philanthropist, the red flag the alarm bell should be ringing. Mackenzie Scott, ex-wife of Jeff Bezos of Amazon fortune, announces her organization Yield Giving is giving away $640 million to 361 nonprofits for, in large part, eugenics programs. Okay, let's go ahead and bring on Ruckus. Do we have a segue? I don't know if we have a segue. Oh, today is Faith Leaders Pray for Nation and Leadership in White House. So I guess that's our segue, is just this image. It's kind of hard to believe, and it's kind of laughable. It's sad. I wish they were genuine, but I just don't believe they're genuine. Here's my screen share of said prayer at the White House with Trump. There it is. And like I said, I wish they were genuine and good Christians, but they're not. Sorry to say. With this, and they have the FIFA golden trophy right there. It's just like, it's too much, man. These people are too fake, and it just makes me want to throw up, honestly. Here comes Ruckus. How you doing, Ruckus?
Good. I like that picture. I was going to retweet it on X and say, "This is what I voted for."
This is what I voted for. The good Christians who love killing women and children over there in West Asia. So yeah,
along with some good old-fashioned football, soccer.
Yeah,
Goal.
They try so hard to try to make soccer's never going to be popular in the United States. I'm sorry, it's just not going to happen. But they do try hard.
Keep trying. I mean, it's respected in some circles. The youth like to play it, so there's still a lot of like high school sports that dig it, and then they go to college and they decide they like beer or something else better. Who knows? And then they're playing regular football because beer leads to American football and vice versa.
Indeed. What do we got here to start? The JFK files. JFK files released yesterday. CIA, aardvarks, and conspiracy theories surface. The release of declassified files related to the assassination of President John F. Kennedy has sparked widespread discussion on the interwebs. Key points of interest include the CIA's request for redactions concerning aardvark land and allegations of CIA involvement in the assassination. These documents reveal historical interactions and suggest various motives, including Kennedy's intent to limit aardvark's nuclear program, though these remain speculative and part of ongoing debates. Any thoughts, Ruckus, on these JFK file releases yesterday?
Dude, there's like a million, probably millions, different theories about who, what, when, where, why, which bullet, and all the triggers and how many, and all. There's way too much. And then from what I've seen so far is that it looks to me in general what we're going to get is it's going to be proof to whatever your flavor of theory is. Everyone's going to be like, aha, I told you. And then the other people are going to be like, aha, and like, but you all can't be right. So clearly they're still mind effing you with this stuff. I watched my friend and colleague Jason Burmis. Shout out to Jason Burmis. He covered it on a live program today, and he noted that yes, they are actually revealing the aardvark information, which everybody, especially on certain circles on X, are insisting they're never going to reveal aardvark stuff. And sure enough, they are. So they've only released, I don't know, like 1,000 plus something PDFs. I don't know how many pages. I think the entire thing all around altogether will be about 80,000 pages. That's a lot of stuff to crawl through. So I'm leaving this one up to the JFK experts. I don't know, bro. I've been back and forth with. I used to believe the theory, believe it or not, I'll admit this. I used to believe that it was the wife, that she had a part in it because she was involved with the Jesuits and all this weird stuff. But I don't believe that anymore. I believe there was a certain group of people who wanted him gone for whatever reason. And I find it interesting that there's a good chance that there were like tons of contingency plans, multiple shooters. I think a few of them missed, and then somebody finally got him at the end.
Here's those documents from WikiLeaks, and I'm just reading WikiLeaks right now, and there's another story we may want to report from WikiLeaks. But first of all, we'll continue on the JFK file section. Here it is, one of the documents, right from the documents. We got the documents, right? The Aardvark Intelligence Service here is mentioned. Their CIA director permitted Angleton to run several intelligence projects, many of them with our greatest ally. So they are mentioned there as working together, which is not really a big surprise, honestly, because all these intelligence agencies do work together. We're, quote, allies, and they work together to oppress the people, and we wouldn't have it any other way, because that's Western democracy and freedom, is to have intelligence agencies running false flag terrorist attacks, psyops, and the like on us, and running covert wars and shipping in drugs and human trafficking, and on it goes. And so that's the way the world works, I'm sorry to say. But so honestly, no big surprise. But yeah, I know there's a group that I guess they're disappointed, because there's a lot of people, I saw it too, saying they'll never name the aardvarks, that it just can't happen. And it's like, well, they're there, right there. But what are you going to make of that? You know what I mean? What do we make of that?
It proves it.
I thought this was interesting. JFK files reveal the use of false flag persons, as in the title of the show, as a regular part of operations. Let's show that that document up here. So the use of false flag persons, at least judging from this cable, is something repeatedly done by the CIA? Question mark. Yeah. 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 It is something done by the CIA, false flag persons. So a little bit more. This one talks about infiltration, and we've known this for a long time, COINTELPRO. But this is specifically a CIA memo reveals that Agent Oliver H. Cronbuston joined and infiltrated peace groups, specifically the Catholic Association for International Peace, CAIP, to gather intel on their Negotiation Now initiative. The agency obtained internal documents and monitored CAIP's 40th conference at Dunbarton College in Washington, D.C., with all findings sent to headquarters as part of Cold War intelligence operations. So, yeah, any and every group out there, they infiltrate with spies, essentially, and agent provocateurs. And I've seen it firsthand, personally, with my own little 9/11 Truth group here in Fresno, California. I've seen what they do. And so I'm sure with a big group, a hell of a lot more organized and well-funded than my little group was, then they're definitely going after you. But I've seen them send agent provocateurs to say, let's go attack the police, let's attack the federal building, let's block traffic, throw bricks at cars, all this kind of nonsense that we see. I saw it firsthand with provocateurs coming to the group to scare people, to break it up. If they could get useful idiots to go do the violence, then they'd be happy with that too. And this indeed goes on. What do you think about that, Ruckus? The government would never send agent provocateurs to peaceful groups to cause violence, would they?
I've witnessed with my own 4 eyes that happen inside this industry, Sam. Many years ago, we were with another network. It will not be named, but there was a gentleman who infiltrated us and actually used the platform to honeypot and eventually arrest a few people, doing exactly what you just discussed. So, I mean, they do this on all sorts of levels, on all sorts of different people and organizations and groups. So no surprise here, just more revelation of the method. I'm also noticing, again, these are all like, this is just like, hello, everybody's been talking about this stuff for years. This is nothing new, false flag, like yada, yada. Where's the good stuff? Where's the stuff that's going to catch us by surprise out of left field? Where's the aliens? I want the aliens already, you know? It
was the driver, right? You heard that theory, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And there's video that's like grainy.
I talked to a guy, listen, I talked to a guy in person, a friend of mine who I trust, okay, but he insists that he saw the car and that he was shown in secret that there was a little device inside the car. So the car shot him, according to my friend. I'm like, what do you guys are all over the place. It's pretty wild. The car shot him? I don't think so.
Well, they were driving a Tesla, so I blame Tesla for it.
The swastika car.
Here's for the Aardvark fans out there. This document names them quite a few times, and so they did not hold back. I don't know how it. They say Aardvark's supervision, to be clear, talking about operations, working together. So you can see right here, they're named there on this official memo from the U.S. state government, marked secret.
And I'm sorry, folks, if you're waiting for the final page of the document after this long, drawn-out drama that is going to be in the news and on X, to get the name or names of the actual shooters, it's not going to happen. That's my theory, 100%.
Daily Mail says the critical JFK file that was not released and still remains secret. So, yeah. Transcript of a conversation between Lyndon Johnson and the CIA director at the time, John McCone, after 1963 assassination, has still not been released.
Do they have a document about exactly where George Bush was at that time?
There's speculation. Let's see this video. That's a good segue, actually, to George Bush smiling as he referred to JFK's assassination as a deluded gunman at Gerald Ford's funeral. Let's watch this short clip. Speaking of former CIA director and president of America, George Bush Sr.
Time and again, he would step forward and keep his promise, even when the dark clouds of political crisis gathered over America. After a deluded gunman assassinated President Kennedy.
It's pretty funny, right? The deluded gunman assassinating our president.
I'm going to put that on a t-shirt. Deluded gunmen are cool. They're funny. Yeah, laugh. Live, laugh, deluded gunmen, whatever. Yeah, ridiculous.
George Bush thinks so. You know, many people speculate, and I think it's probably true, that George Bush Sr. was actually president during Reagan, because after Reagan got shot, he was like really out of it. And basically George Bush Sr. as vice president was basically running the show there. And I believe that's probably not too far from the truth. So you could say he was president for 3 terms at least. And God only knows what he did as director of the CIA. And America didn't think that was strange, or what should be cautious, that the former director of the CIA is now president of the United States. Like, that's not a big red flag.
On the heels of a Hollywood actor, mind you.
And we have another Hollywood actor in the White House. So history seems to repeat itself here now. Okay, here's a clip saying that Aardvarks killed JFK from, let's watch this short clip from Mark. Well, you could see his name up there. The Letters of JFK, editor.
Very surprising series of letters between Kennedy and David Ben-Gurion, not only the premier of Israel, but the founder of Israel, in which they're very angry letters, in which Kennedy is saying to Ben-Gurion, I'm killing myself trying to get a nuclear test ban treaty. I've even got de Gaulle on board, and that's impossible. And you keep testing in Dimona. You've got to stop. And Ben-Gurion, thank you, in so many words says, it's easy for you to say sitting in Hyannisport. I'm sitting with the Arabs all around me, and you want me to give up nuclear testing. And Kennedy threatens him. And he threatens him in such a way that Ben-Gurion resigns. And I will tell you that I found articles, not in any crackpot publications, but in very sophisticated publications saying, forget Lyndon Johnson, forget the CIA, forget Fidel Castro. The Mossad killed Kennedy because they were so upset over what he did to Ben-Gurion.
Who knows, man? We don't know. I'm sure that makes a lot of people happy that this guy's saying that, but who freaking knows? I think it was probably a combination of all of them. He had a lot of enemies.
Of all of them, that's actually the weakest theory. Just because we didn't like the way he talked to us in a letter, it was very angry. There were angry letters. I don't know, man. I'm not buying it. I mean, that was a pretty complicated hit that went down that day, and there was a lot of this weird esoteric stuff on the 30th. I don't know. I can't. I don't think it's that simple. If I did enough digging, I would suggest that it had something to do with the secret societies. And that's what Bill Cooper used to talk about all the time, that there's a lot to that symbology and the numerology and everything about that day and the time and the place. So
the ritual,
I don't think it's because of an angry letter is what I'm saying.
There's a lot of ritual going on there, a lot of occult ritualistic symbolism going on there. So it's very deep, very deep. And have you ever seen the similarities between Abraham Lincoln and John F. Kennedy? There's some crazy thing going on there that the only explanation would have to be secret societies throughout the years are carrying out what they call it, killing of the king. I think it's called ritual. And so it's a lot more than just aardvark government.
It's called the sacrificed king.
Sacrificed king. Yep. There you go. So I've seen all of that, and when you line up the similarities between Lincoln and Kennedy, there's something going on there, man, that we don't know and probably will never know. Their families know, and the secret societies that put them in the position to be president know. But there's something going on there because there's too many coincidences and similarities between the two for us to just say, oh, well, you know what I mean? And they're both assassinated, of course. So
the good news is I just heard breaking news, everybody. Pam Bondi is going to release the Abraham Lincoln assassination files next.
Abraham Lincoln assassination files? Wow. All right.
I'm kidding.
Oh. Well, I was looking forward to that, too. We're going to bring the perpetrators to justice. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. They're all dead. Oh, never mind. Okay. So on with that. People are still digging, so we'll have to follow the reporting. If there's any bombshells, we'll bring it to you here. I think we covered the most of it. Is, I don't know, quasi nothing burger. It made the it's all aardvarks people happy, or it should have. Nothing will make them happy, I guess. But yeah, there's still all these theories. What the hell? It was old Lee Harvey Oswald, right? Right. Okay.
Although an argument could be made that just by releasing the few pages that they have that make any reference to aardvarks, that could be considered anti-aardvarkism, wouldn't it?
Could be a trap.
Treading dangerous water here.
Could be a setup. Yeah. Could be a setup, and they're cranking the screws down on prosecuting anti-aardvarkism. Indeed. Greenpeace liable for millions over pipeline protests. A North Dakota judge, or North Dakota jury, actually. Wow, a jury made a ruling. North Dakota jury has ruled that Greenpeace must pay hundreds of millions of dollars in damages to Energy Transfer, the developer of the Dakota Access Pipeline. The lawsuit, initiated by Energy Transfer, accused Greenpeace of defamation and disruption due to their protest activities against the pipeline. This verdict has sparked significant debate regarding the rights to protest and financial implications for environmental activism groups.
Did they cause actual damage, like vandalism?
No, it was peaceful. But they were blocking. I remember these protests, actually. They were blocking construction on the pipeline and then calling them every bad name in the book.
All time is money, so I guess somebody's got to pay.
Greenpeace, yeah. 9-person jury in Mandan, North Dakota. Mandan, North Dakota. That's going to hurt Greenpeace quite a bit. So that happened. we have more environmental news about the Teslas. The CIA headquarters standoff ends in arrest. Today, an armed individual approached the entrance of the CIA headquarters in McLean, Virginia, leading to a significant law enforcement response, including SWAT teams. That's a popular theme. I think we have a couple stories about that. The suspect, who reportedly fired shots into the air, was eventually taken into custody after a tense standoff. And so this guy's lucky that the police didn't kill him, honestly.
He was a deranged gunman.
He was pissed off about the JFK files. Let's watch this short.
Okay, welcome back. Looks like activity. We don't have a lot of details. We're showing you a live shot of the headquarters of Central Intelligence in Langley, Virginia. That's in Northern Virginia. It looks like a police presence. There's some barricade up. I want to put that in the box, and as we know more here at Real America's Voice War Room, we will update you. But something quite odd, and we'll get up to date on what's happening. That's Langley.
Yeah, there really wasn't that much action in that video.
Isn't the CIA armed? Don't they have agents with weapons there? Why do they need the cops to come save the day? That's kind of weird.
They would never do that, though. They only operate domestically. I mean, foreignly. I mean, anywhere and everywhere.
Wait, I think I'm confusing the real CIA with the movies and the TV shows. Sorry. Yeah, the CIA is actually a bunch of like geeks pushing pencils and stuff. They're weird. Yeah, come at me. It's okay. I understand.
DHS to crack down on swatting against conservatives. InfoWars host Owen Schroyer,
yeah,
was a victim of swatting incident at his home in Austin. Following the event, DHS Secretary Kristi Noem announced that the Department of Homeland Security would actively pursue and prosecute individuals involved in swatting, particularly those targeting conservative media figures. This comes amid heightened discussions around the criminality of swatting and its political implications. It's pretty scary stuff, I guess. When a bunch of cops with guns and tanks show up to your house to save you from yourself, and you don't even know what's going on, it could easily escalate into them killing you. Here's some images of old InfoWars host Owen Schroyer there. There he is with his hands up. So this has become a trend. I remember reporting on a guy, not from these recent ones, but this has been going on a while, and in California, and he was convicted, got 48 months. So, yeah, they should go after. And then I always think when they're doing, is this not just a diversion tactic, possibly? Well, they send all the cops over here, then they go do a crime over there. Seems like very possible. What do you think about these swattings? Do these conservatives deserve to be swatted? I saw people saying they posting on these posts on X saying, well, they deserve it. Like, for what? Because they're politics?
I understand that the world is very dark and twisted, and so is this space sometimes. I'm not saying anyone involved with this program or my own networks and whatnot, but there are people out there, they exist, that there might be somebody who's watching this who might be like, who's a creator or has a conservative media outlet, just not doing so well, hasn't been around, hasn't been getting the numbers. They might be willing to swat themselves just for the attention. I'm just saying, just something to keep in mind, because after this happens, all eyes on those people, and they get all the I'm so sorry this happened to you, and they get donations. I'm just saying, I mean, I've seen people basically trump up some charges, or anytime they get in trouble with the cops, no names mentioned, but I've seen people allegedly, supposedly thrown in prison when maybe they weren't necessarily, just for clicks and views. It's fun.
It's fun to play the victim. Yeah, I mean, you can false flag yourself for sure. It's a dangerous game if they are indeed. If anybody's doing that, is a very dangerous game to be playing. There's easier and a lot safer ways to make money, honestly. I mean, but Yeah, so that's
Plus,
going
what
on.
happens? What happens if, because a lot of, I mean, because they are targeting conservative media types, if even half of them practice what they preach and they're pro Second Amendment, what happens if things go south on one of these swattings and somebody in the SWAT team gets hurt? You want to see some clamping down, coming down on alternative media, independent media, your right to free speech and all of that. So be careful, everybody.
Hello, Karen. Thank you for joining us on the Rockfin. Yeah, indeed. Indeed, they will be cracking down and say, you guys are provocateuring these events. And hell, Trump's campaigned on, did he sign an executive order? I can't even remember. Death penalty if you kill a cop. So what if a cop somehow gets hurt or killed in one of these events, one of these swatting events? Then hell yeah, they're going to crack down like you've never seen before. I do believe that. And that may all be part of the plan as well. Who else was it? The woman that claimed Bill Clinton raped her, Juanita Broderick.
Yeah.
She also claimed that she was swatted as well. And she's like an old lady. Like, you have a Twitter account? I don't know, man. It's some of it feels like I could see the InfoWars because they have like they're doing a lot of broadcasts, right? So I could see them being a big target, but like she has a Twitter account. You know what I mean? Like, really? And when
the larger your audience, unfortunately, so somebody like InfoWars, they have a really, really large audience. The better odds are that you're going to trigger some truly mentally disturbed gunman type folks out there, and not all of them tote guns. Some of them tote 911 calls and SWAT you.
No, yeah, and they broadcast on regular radio. They have like a real media outfit going on there. So I could see going after them, but the people with big Twitter accounts, really? Like, really? You're on that one app, really? You reach, I don't know, 100,000, 1 million people on that one app. But really? You're for people with a Twitter account and like no other media presence anywhere, basically? Like,
I can't help but feel like there's this narrative building that the targets are anti-Democrat people. It's not so much conservative media because of Juanita Broderick, because she accused, a Democrat of doing the thing. So I don't know. Could very well be. But more politics, division. We don't need any of this crap, no matter who is doing it or what's happening. It needs to stop.
What's up, Chloe? Thank you for tuning in on the Rumble. Okay, Trump. Yeah, it needs to stop. It needs to stop. If a president, this is about the old, they're blocking all of Trump's executive orders, actions, and edicts. He says, let me put it on the screen here, which is true. If a president doesn't have the right to throw murderers and other criminals out of our country because of radical left lunatic judge wants to assume the role of president, then our country is in very big trouble and destined to fail. Judge blocks Trump's transgender military ban. A federal judge in D.C. has issued an indefinite block on an executive order by Trump that aimed to ban transgender individuals from serving in the military. And then judge blocks EPA from canceling climate grants. We can't even stop the freaking knowing scams and knowing fraud. You have to continue to fund the fraud taxpayers. Like, seriously, these judges are maniacs, man. Pay my tax bill then, jerk. You know what I mean? And it's the same one. This one, Tanya Kutkan, and she's been on a couple of these rulings. She's restricting the EPA from terminating $14 billion in climate grants initially awarded by the Biden administration. Now Trump, of course, you better believe this one's going to court. This will probably go to the Supreme Court. Trump set to sign executive order shuttering the education department. I had a hard time reading that because I do have a public education. What do you think? Should judges just rule the country? We should abolish the executive branch and Congress and just have these judges run the country.
Yeah, that's fun for the next 4 years, but what happens when the Democrats get back in charge? You really want that to happen? I don't.
But there's quote conservative Republican judges that could play the same game, no?
Yeah. Maybe we shouldn't be relying so heavily on executive orders when judges can just come out and be like, aha, block.
Our government's not even functioning properly. It's supposed to go through the lawmakers or Congress, and that's how you pass the laws, not these executive orders, which when the next guy gets in there can just overturn, as we've seen over and over and over again. And so these are just edicts from the executive. And like Trump's first term, that's part of the reason I believe why they're firing a bunch of people in government. His first term, he made a bunch of executive orders. The federal bureaucracy looked at them, crumpled it up, threw it in the garbage and laughed, said, we're not doing it, right? And so this time around, he wised up to that. And he's like, I'm firing you all. There'll be nobody to not do my order because you're all fired. But all this is being blocked as well. But the true proper way for our government to function constitutionally is for it to be passing laws through Congress. You know, it originates in the House. It goes to the Senate for all these adjustments, so on and so on, and then it goes to the president, signs it or vetoes it, and then it's the law, right? With that, I'm a bill or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Just a bill.
But it's really just a wad of cash and bribery. But theoretically, if we weren't so corrupt, that's how it would work, or at least that's how I learned in high school civics how it's supposed to work. And they're just bypassing all that, right?
Granted, I mean, considering the state of affairs of our legislation departments these days, I'm like, maybe the EOs are the way to go.
Oh man, but it leaves it open to, and then if it's unconstitutional law, then it gets challenged, goes to the Supreme Court, and then they rule: is it constitution, unconstitutional?
And that takes years sometimes. It's crazy.
It
Everything moves so slow in our government. That's the thing I can't stand. So I don't understand why. So at least there's stuff happening fast with the EOs. You know, some important things have come of this. I'm not going to lie.
I want people in government, the government, legislature, to get in trouble when they knowingly pass unconstitutional laws. Like they just, oh, well, and it's like, no, you guys are knowingly doing tyranny against us, passing unconstitutional laws, knowing that, and then we got to wait. The law passes, like here in California, because corrupt one-party state Democrats. And so they do an unconstitutional law, it passes, and then we have to live under that law. Like you say, it takes forever to work the way through the courts. And if it's challenged in the courts, it takes 2-3 years. And in the meantime, you're living under this illegal, unconstitutional law until it gets to a court that, and how do we know if the court's not going to be a radical Democrat too, and just say, well, it is constitutional. We've seen those rulings too. So it's just a mess. I wish our government would follow the rule book, but they don't, obviously.
None of these left judges are called radical left judges until they do something against the current administration. True. Now you're radical. Now you've gone too far.
True. ICE arrests Colorado activist Jeanette Vizagara. Here she is. She's a 53-year-old prominent immigration rights activist from Colorado, and she was arrested Monday by ICE. So they're arresting immigration rights activist. An illegal alien from Mexico has convictions for possession of forged documents and illegal entry. Well, that's this identity theft that many of these illegal aliens are up to. So an arrest there, but we're still waiting for the mass deportations. French scholar deported over anti-Trump messaging. A French researcher was detained at the U.S. border upon arrival in Houston for a scientific conference. During a random search, his electronic devices were confiscated by the Department of Homeland Security agents and they discovered messages critical of Trump's policies on scientific research. The messages were considered as potential indicators of terrorism against Trump, leading to the researchers' deportation. Wow. That, I don't know, seems extreme, but they're cracking down, man.
Wow, I know what the radical left would say about this. They would compare Orange Man to the Mustache Man, yeah?
Yeah, AFP reports researcher was accused by the American authorities of hateful and conspiratorial messages. He was reportedly informed of an FBI investigation for which charges were dropped. But he did get deported. Oh man. Yeah, that does seem kind of pretty tyrannical. I don't know.
I hope they're not beta testing tyranny on all these foreigners like this. Look what they're doing with the foreign exchange students on the colleges. No First Amendment for you, sucker. You're going to Guantanamo. I mean, sorry, we're deporting you. They're not going to Guantanamo, I hope.
Like Ron Paul said, what if they're building this wall to keep you in? Not keep illegals out, to keep you in, which is always a possibility. Let's see now from Gavin Newsom. He's now a conservative info warrior, working the interwebs, and so now he's rebranded himself. He hasn't worn a MAGA hat yet, but here is Gavin Newsom on his podcast. He takes time out of the bankrupt, failing state duties of California to do a podcast. Here he is with failed vice presidential candidate Walls, and he's pushing back against them, and he's trying to seem like he's the moderate, common sense guy. Let's watch this clip of the rebranding of Gavin Newsom, our Lord and Savior here in California.
Yeah, Bill Clinton said it better than anyone years and years ago after shellacking. Given the choice, I'm paraphrasing, the American people always support strong and wrong versus weak and right.
Because I saw it for me, and not that I spend much time thinking about this, and it just baffled me how much time they spent trying to attack me that I wasn't like masculine enough in their vision. Yes. Like I would have never believed this. I saw Fox News did like a couple days because I used a straw. And I'm like, hell, man, what am I? How else do you drink a milkshake type of thing? But they focused on it obsessively, which I think, again, is their obsession, their weirdness. We buy their frame on these issues of sexuality, but their whole thing is that they spent all their time, these guys, on Fox News, that Walls is gay, he's not masculine, he doesn't coach football the way he should, or doesn't. What do you think about this? I mean,
it's this
misogyny in here that's happening.
Yeah, well, but this notion of masculinity is deeply part of it. That's one of the. I mean, I think it goes. And you can look at the reasons why we've had this sort of dialectic over the Me Too movement. We've had this dialectic even prior to the Me Too movement. This notion
of fight it.
This notion
I think
of
I could kick most of their ass. I do think that if they wanted to. I know I can outrun them, but I don't know if we're going to fall into that place where we want to. Okay, we challenge you to a WWE fight here type of thing.
No, but it's a natural reaction. I think it's one of the reasons we're losing so many men. And again, it's multi-ethnic. It's not just white men. We're losing them. We're losing them to these guys online. We're losing them people that I'm bringing on this podcast as well. That's why I brought.
These are bad guys, though. These are bad guys.
But they exist, and we could deny they exist. They exist. Not only they exist, they persist, and they're actually influencing young kids every single.
I said we'll go back to it. Gavin Newsom cheated on his wife when he was mayor of San Francisco, a Guilfoyle chick, with his best friend. And so for this guy to act like he has any morality or high standing.
Well, she upgraded, arguably, right?
But just the fact that he did that is just, this guy has no credibility whatsoever. Sorry, I just had to interrupt because he says Me Too. And it's like, dude, you're like the poster child of this stuff, and you're going to try to act all morally superior. You're a dirtbag, dude. And it's already proven by your own actions. Continuing.
day.
How do we push some of those guys back under a rock?
I think we have to first understand what their motivations are. I think we have to understand what they're actually doing. And
you don't
I think
think
that's
it's racism and misogyny?
I think there's a lot of that, but I don't think it's exclusively that. When you talk to a guy like Steve Bannon, he reminded me a little bit of my grandfather when he talks about working folks and he talks about how we hollowed out the industrial core of this country. But I understand that. But so we can dismiss the notion of election denialism. We could completely dismiss what he did on January 6th, but I don't think you can dismiss what he's saying. Reminds me a lot of what Bernie Sanders was saying. Reminds me a lot of what Democrats said 20, 30 years ago. I mean, he's arguing
he hates
against
Musk, right? He hates
Musk. He hates the oligarchy. He totally agrees with you on the concentration of monopolistic powers. He completely dismisses the notion that we should extend the tax cuts for corporations.
To show how fake it all is, they loved the oligarchy and Musk 2 years ago when he was doing what they liked, and so it's just so fake. It's so fake. Continuing, this is hard to even make it through. It's just so fake. These guys, especially Newsom.
And the very wealthy. He thinks we should lower taxes for the middle class and wants to see increased taxes.
I can't message to misogynists. I can't message that women shouldn't have equal.
But I think if we say people are misogynists, then we're falling prey. We're in that frame. Not everybody that disagrees with us is a misogynist, even those that. But I think this notion of toxicity in masculinity needs to be separated. And I think it's been conflated. And I think we're going to have to work on that a little bit. And I think there is a crisis.
I think some of us scare them. I think I scare them a little bit why they spend so much time on it. No, I'm serious, because I can fix a truck. They know I'm not bullshitting on this. Yeah. I'm not putting this in people's grill. I don't know if my identity is not hunting. My identity is not football coaching. My identity is not, a beard and a truck. I like all those things. But how did we get to this where have they figured it out that the identity piece of this is more important than the actual substance?
Are you scared of old Walls there? I'm kind of scared because they're both psychopaths, honestly. It's just bizarre.
I'm so sad we didn't get Kamala and that guy. That would have been so fun. I was just mesmerized by the whiteness. I can't tell which is whiter, actually. Gavin Newsom's teeth, which are beautiful, my dude. What's up with that? I'm so freaking jealous. Or Walz's eyebrows. It's hard to tell. I'd have to compare the two. But man, Walz is acting like your radical left Democrat, like all over the place emotionally. He's acting like a little child. And Gavin Newsom is acting much more like a slick, produced, handled actor. I mean, Gavin's doing really well. He's saying the right things. That's what anyone with a brain who wants to try to stay in the middle of it and not do politics, that's how any human being should respond to the crazy eyebrow dude. So I don't know what's up with Gavin. Is he really trying to rebrand himself, or is this just for his podcast? I think it's just for his podcast, because I think he knows that his time is up in politics and he's making the shift. That's what I think, Sam.
Well,
what is up with those teeth though? Holy moly. Look at those choppers. Wow. Nice.
But what, he's just going to become an info warrior? I mean, he has to.
He's not going to get swatted either. There's no way. If that dude gets swatted, he definitely swatted himself. Of course, no one would show up because it's California, and I guess things don't really work out so well out there, right? And just nothing works. They'd be like, well, we tried to get there, but there was this crazy wildfire from climate change, sir.
I remember during the lockdowns, there was mass protests at Newsom's house, and he had 150 CHP, California Highway Patrol. They're literally guarding his house. So, yeah, I don't think he's getting swatted anytime soon. Yeah, we do miss Barry. I see they're in the chat. Yeah, I'm sorry. I haven't heard from Barry in a few days either. So we're hoping that Barry is okay. I know he was emotional about his relationships and having some rough times with his relationships there. So I hope that everything's okay with Barry. Indeed. Give us a report there, Karen, if you know
Sam,
anything.
I think you and I each have his email.
I do. And I'm going to tell him tomorrow too, by the way. I forgot to mention, or maybe I mentioned, I don't know. Tomorrow, we're having Jim Lee of climateviewer.com on, geoengineering expert extraordinaire, and he's going to break it all down for us. And so I would think that Barry, I know that issue is very near to Barry's heart. And so I would hope that he would tune in, and everybody tune in tomorrow to hear from Jim Lee from Climate Viewer, because he is indeed an expert on the geoengineering topic. And we're going to go over a lot of different stuff. I want to get his take on the EPA. I think it's very underreported, even though judges are blocking it now. I don't see how they're going to block it for 4 years. The EPA saying climate change is basically over. We're done with the Green New scam. That's major hit in the One World Government Agenda, Agenda 2030. That was a major plank in their agenda to make us all pay carbon tax, essentially, and be under all these different carbon restrictions. And if our EPA takes all away, that's a major blow to UN Agenda 2030 and the One World Government Agenda.
Well, maybe, just maybe, some of those things that we thought were exclusive to their particular agenda over climate change serve other, I don't know, technocratic purposes, let's just say. Like, you look at these electric cars, they were rolled out in mass and brainwashed pushed onto the people.
Battery-powered cars, they're not electric cars.
Well, right. So the thing is that they don't operate like the old ones, like the diesel, right? And I think that that's ultimately going to play into the 15-minute city type of thing. I think we're still moving towards those things, but I don't think they need to scare everybody with the climate change anymore. I think they got everybody on the cool factor now. As crazy as that sounds, people are going to start to embrace the things that they were bucking against. When somebody says you need to do this because you cooked too many hamburgers, people are like, no, screw you, buddy. But if you just make it look sexy and cool, and they're like, hey, I want one of those, it's the Jones factor. You know, the grass is always greener on the other side, including your impending imprisonment in a 15-minute city.
Speaking of Newsom and the environment, Fresno, where I'm at, Fresno County, Fresno Clean Energy Project that could power up to 300,000 homes. But the problem is we can't get out of the way of our own corruption. I predict this project will never be completed, or if it is completed, over budget and over time as well. Newsom says, he put this out today, I'm taking action to fast track a solar and battery project. God forbid, these lithium ion batteries are bad news, man. I'm telling you, as we've seen here with the reporting on the Moss Landing battery factory fires that keep lighting up in Fresno County. I may have to go take a look at this construction. California is doing all we can to cut pollution, but never mind when the lithium ion batteries catch on fire. We just act like that never happened. Create good jobs and build a cleaner and more reliable energy grid. All lies, what he says here. But that's going to be going on right here in my county. So another scam as far as I'm concerned. They have to prove to me that they can do a public works project without it successfully, because everything they do, homelessness, drug abuse, high-speed rail, go down the list, it's just all failures. They throw billions of dollars at it, and the problem only gets worse here in California. And so I believe this will probably follow that trend. I hope they prove me wrong, but I can't trust this state government here, Ruckus.
But they don't like burning gas and oil and stuff out there. Is that the deal? Or something else is going on, I'm sure. 300,000 homes it's going to power. Well,
it's not, but it sounds good.
What if it's going to actually ultimately, well, maybe it might work, but I'm just being optimistic here. It's not going to power just any 300,000 homes. It's going to power 300,000 smart homes. So
there you go. Always tying it back. And that's a good point too. Smart cities to the control grid, 15-minute cities. The cornucopia hybrid project. It's called Cornucopia. Hybrid project is poised to deliver 300 megawatts of renewable solar energy and 300 megawatts of battery storage. This combination will enable the facility to dispatch carbon-free electricity to the grid during peak demand times, including evening and nighttime hours when renewable generation is limited. And then they say advancing clean energy goals. The project would help California achieve its world-leading climate and clean energy goals, including powering the state with 90% clean electricity by 2035 and 100% by 2045. I just don't see that happening, but that's the benchmark goals that they've set here. 100% powering the grid with clean energy. But they don't let alternative breakthrough energy even see the light of day at all. It's these solar panels and winds.
Just ask Tesla, not the car, the man.
The project will generate essential tax revenues for local schools, ban them, infrastructure, and energy services while boosting the economy with construction and long-term operational jobs. It all sounds wonderful. I just can't trust the state with a track record of corruption. Okay, halftime. Go ahead and plug there.
Oh yeah, sure. Check out my show, which comes out every once in a while when I can. The Daily Ruckus over at Alternate. Actually, it's currentradio.com. Yeah, it's a little different, but yeah, we're technically independent media, not alternative. So we're an alternate within the alternative. So alternate, currentradio.com. But you'll find me every week doing stuff with the Boiler Room on Thursdays. Usually I'm on Sunday Wire with Patrick Henningsen, which is run through there. I make appearances on various other programs that we feature up there. We also have the Mystical American Patriot Society, the Oddcast, the Odd Man Out podcast, and other fun stuff there. But yeah, you can find my show there on that page, which will be found on the main homepage when you go to alternatecurrentradio.com. And then, of course, I have an X account where I do a lot more stuff over there these days, even if it's just a fun little tweet or a limerick or a riddle or a daily history Easter egg. I do some of the same stuff you do, Sam, with daily history things. Check me out. It's AC_wordslinger on X. I like X until they take it away from me because, yes, I can say the things on there that I can't say to this day on Facebook. So it's just nobody gets to see it, but at least I get to say it. So it's fun. But yeah.
You get to yell into the void over there. Yeah, we're down today. We have, according to this, my analytics, we have 67 watching on the X. Shout out to the X audience, allegedly. I don't know if we can believe any of this, but yeah, we had like, I don't know, over 150 yesterday. So that was pretty good. Was it Monday? We had like 8 people or something. It's like, what? Are you kidding me? 8 people. But who knows that it's like
you have a lot of Irish American listeners. Apparently, they were too busy celebrating.
Maybe. Yeah, it's X is wild. It's highly suppressed. They want you to pay, even if you pay for the stupid check mark. Now they want you to pay to promote your post. Have you seen this? I'm sure you've been prompted with this.
Oh, yeah. No, I've known about that for a while. Premium Plus. Now you can get a completely ad-free experience. I recommended and tagged Elon Musk himself as well as Linda Yaccarino, the CEO of X. I suggested, hey, you guys should come out with Premium Plus. And for that fee, you are guaranteed not to get the porn bot likes instantly every time you post something, and then you're shadow banned. So I want to pay money for that privilege, please. Do I have to pay money, though, or can we just have our social media back? That'd be great.
It was better under the old Twitter regime, honestly. I believe it was.
Good old Jack.
Yeah, they banned, censored, did social engineering, same thing. But honestly, it was better for me, honestly. I can't grow my account on there no matter what I post. I'm suppressed, as are you and many other people. Unless you're shilling for Trump and Elon Musk, you're any criticism. That show, I said, the title of Monday's show was MAGA Pro War ? And that got me shadow banned, throttled apparently on X. I don't know.
How dare you?
I don't know, but they're all cheering it on. Peace through strength as we bomb Yemen and kill women and children. They're quite horrific. Okay, on to Weaponized News plugging. Go to weaponizednews.com, get yourself some stickers there. We have dog tags. We're trying to sort out with Thomas from Alpha Mega Energy how we're going to do his promotion. He plugged that last night. Go subscribe on our YouTube for whatever it's worth. We're still trying to get to 1,000 subscribers there. We have reached the 4,000 hour threshold. So thank you everyone who's helped in that campaign. Just go to our YouTube and subscribe. That would be nice. I would appreciate it. Thank you. And check out our documentaries that for free. I know they don't like that, but for free on our about the new world order on Weaponized News YouTube channel. I'm seeing in the chat here reports from Karen that they're saying Barry has the flu over there, chemtrail flu, for 4 days. And so, yeah, let's pray for Barry's quick recovery. And that is quite horrific that he's gone down ill. I will email him and tell him don't miss tomorrow's show because I know that he will be very interested in the geoengineering that we're going to be talking about tomorrow. Okay, continuing here.
We should mass cull 1 million chickens in his honor. That might help him feel better.
I think we do have a report about that. We'll get to that. Okay, on to, well, first, we're environmentalism first, save the world. But the new EPA chief here, let's hear from him, Lee Zeldin, short clip, and then we'll get into all the madness of, I'm trying to hold everybody back. Don't go attack Teslas. They were your good liberal friends 2 years ago, and now somehow they're hate-filled Nazis, but they're actually the same people driving that Tesla, who I believe in large part bought it because they thought they were doing the right thing for the environment. And they're literally your fellow liberal, quote, liberals that you're attacking. And so it's literally insane to me. But let's watch a short clip from Zeldin, then we'll get into all the Tesla terrorism.
We've had a great partnership with Doge, and through their help, we have been able to identify now over $2 billion worth of grants that I've canceled inside of both the DEI and environmental justice space. It's about saving tax dollars, ensuring that we aren't wasting a penny. We couldn't have been able to do it without that partnership with Doge. We're grateful for Elon's efforts, and he has a lot of very talented people who have been working with him. The people inside of our agency are EPA employees, the ones working on this Doge effort, and we're grateful for their effort. They stepped away from other jobs because they care about selflessly serving the American public. For me, I want to ensure that we are being exceptional stewards of tax dollars. That is my commitment to Congress, to President Trump, and to the American people.
I don't know if
That's
I believe
his job. Isn't he the head of the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, and now his mission is to preserve our tax? What the heck is going on? And his statement about the pennies. He's going to go through all of this hard work now, trying to save, not wasting a single penny, when Trump just banned pennies. So now he's going to have to refigure everything out and figure out how he can not waste a single nickel. This poor guy.
I like how he says, well, they're selfless public servants. Really? There's no,
That's a good one.
Because
That's funny.
There's going to be no, backroom deals. You're not going to get sweetheart contracts. None of this is going to go on there. I'm assured by Lee Zeldin, right? Come on, man. The government, I don't care who you're putting in there. It's just human nature to look out for your own self-best interest. And so you can't tell me that these people are just basically saints. He's saying, it's not true. It's not real. It's not reality, MAGA. I'm sorry to tell you that it's just not true. And
I'd like to see them get off their duffs and do something about this massive amount of pollution and plastics in our oceans.
There you go.
People. By now, with all this technology, you'd think we would have figured this out, right? But no, we're worried about not wasting a single penny. Go ahead and waste a few pennies cleaning up the damn environment. That's your job, dude. Go ahead. Do it. It's fine.
And there's a big issue about the geoengineering with the ships as well, and the pollution in the shipping that we'll talk about tomorrow, that I know Jim Lee has talked about quite a bit. And yeah, there's a lot they can do. What about the geoengineering going on in the environment? the glyphosate in the environment is literally polluting everything, but we can't seem to outlaw it, and it's known carcinogen. There's lawsuits everywhere. It's been proven here now. And so, but we can't seem to stop them from spraying glyphosate all over the damn place. Like that's low hanging fruit. To me, it seems that they could easily put a stop to, but we're worried about cutting the fake money here. So this is quite horrific. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Doge Quest is a site that claims to dox Tesla owners across the U.S. This is scary. So now they're down to targeting individual Teslas. So Doge Quest. This is I did see this 2 days ago on my phone reading the Apple News, and these guys do some good reporting. I think at 404 Tech reporting there for quote mainstream, but yeah, they talk. A site called Doge Quest has posted a searchable map, what it claims to be names, addresses, phone numbers, email addresses of Tesla owners across the United States, and it says it will remove the data if an individual proves that they sold their Tesla. The map includes the addresses of Tesla dealerships, the rough locations of Tesla superchargers, and the personal information of employees of Elon Musk headed Doge department. Yeah, they're going a bit far here with this attack. And what are you really attacking? Because Elon Musk is exposing corruption in our government, and so you're mad about that? I don't get the motivation to attack. And every individual Tesla owner you attack, you're not hurting Elon Musk. I guess you're hurting the Tesla sales because people don't want to buy them because they may be attacked. But this is getting crazy. What do you think?
They are literally, they're falling for the world's biggest trap. This is so stupid. Okay, Teslas are not cheap, in case you didn't know. Okay, number one. Yeah. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that the vast majority, if not every single Tesla owner, has insurance, first of all. Okay. Second of all, there's another thing that Teslas come with, other than the high status of the fact that you just coughed up a huge chunk of change to save the environment. They have. It
comes with the moral high ground of saving the environment. No.
Well, it also comes with a shit ton of cameras that record everything that's going on around the vehicle. So you idiots that go up there and vandalize all these Teslas, you're on film and you're going to prison. You're going to jail. You're stupid. Don't do this. And yes, it doesn't hurt Musk or Tesla at all. In fact, it inspires people in the MAGA crowd. Well, these crazy radical leftists are destroying Teslas. I'm going to go get a Tesla now. It's reverse psychology, and it's very simple and honest. It's right there. It's in front of your face. So don't do it, people. It's a trap. It's a trap.
It's a trap, like you say. They got the camera. It may hurt their sales though, because you may think twice. Do I want to get that Tesla? Because I may get attacked. It may get vandalized. I don't know. Tesla stock is way down. Here we have video of a Canadian. I love the irony of it all and just the idiocy. I don't love the idiocy. I wish people were genuine in their protest and activism, but they're obviously not. A Canadian climate activist group called Last Generation vandalized Tesla dealership in Montreal. But again, like 2 years ago, they would call you every name in the book, and you're a climate denier, and you're the worst person ever because you didn't have a Tesla, because you're polluting the environment. But now the tables have turned due to politics. Here's a video of them defacing a Tesla dealership there in Canada.
Dernière génération Canada, un collectif de gens ordinaires qui demande à ce que le gouvernement canadien instaure un comité de protection face aux désastres climatiques pour protéger la population canadienne des dangers de la crise climatique. Nous avons pris action aujourd'hui parce que nous ne pouvons plus supporter de voir le profit prendre priorité sur la vie. Les milliardaires et les plus ultra riches sont en train de détruire notre futur pour leur propre gain. Le gouvernement canadien préfère investir dans les grandes compagnies comme Tesla plutôt que d'investir à protéger la population alors que des centaines de milliers de personnes sont renvoyées chez eux et que des personnes de notre âge meurent en nous protégeant. C'est pourquoi nous demandons la création d'une agence de protection afin de protéger ceux et celles qui ne sont pas capables de se permettre un service de pompiers privé ou de se faire construire une maison pour protéger les inondations. Nous n'allons pas mourir pour les grandes compagnies. On ne va pas donner notre avenir aux ultra-riches. Nous avons essayé les bonnes façons de faire. On est sortis dans les rues.
It's the same company. Nothing changed except for the owners, the front man, Elon Musk's politics. That's all that changed.
And the same protesters too. Those are the same people who are spraying the orange paint and gluing themselves to the concrete in order to convince everybody to buy a Tesla. So none of these have anything. They don't believe in anything. This is just what they do. They're like, well, I'm a professional protester. That's all they do. They don't care. They're given a script and they do their thing. They're like, well, pink paint this time. Next time it'll be purple. Who the hell knows? What are they going to protest next? We're going to do the same thing over what? What's the next thing to happen?
The new current thing. Tesla removed. See, it is kind of hurting them. Tesla removed as participant in 2025 Vancouver International Auto Show. So they're like, do we want to suffer protests from the paid protesters? From you just sit this one out, Tesla. And there's this other car company here now. Tesla is dying, and Polestar wants to kill it. So Polestar is another battery-powered car vehicle, and Polestar is offering anyone who owns or leases a Tesla $5,000 off a lease on a brand new Polestar 3, combined with their latest $15,000 Polestar Clean Vehicle incentive. Any Tesla driver can buy a Polestar 3 for a whopping $20,000 off. So there's some good capitalism taking advantage of the disturbances in Tesla's market right now due to politics.
I want $20,000 off. That's not fair. If you're going to give $20,000 off to the Tesla owners, you need to give $20,000 off to everybody.
Well, it's incentive to get you out of your. It's incentive to get you out of your Tesla and into their Polestar. Yeah, it just goes on. They're looking to take market share from Tesla. Smart move, in my opinion. Tesla's Cybertruck has become the world's most hated car, and MAGA loves it. The UK Telegraph here. The most hated car, really? But the same people, again, it's like, how you people, the same people that hate it now due to politics, loved it 2 years ago. Like, it's all so tiring. Tesla stock slide another 5% as more firms warn of Musk-led company sales woes. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, shares of Tesla have dropped another 5% as of Tuesday, and then 5% on Monday. The whole market was down. Then we showed the chart. I think it's down like 40% over the last 6 months, something like this. So it's having an effect. Deeply concerned crash victims' families, Politico tells us, asked DOT Department of Transportation not to water down Tesla oversight. So now they're claiming that because Musk is in there with Trump at Doge, that the government's going to look the other way due to safety concerns of Teslas.
They would never do that. They've never done that, especially not in recent history with anything, if you know what I mean, or on YouTube anyway. Yeah, no, the government has got your back, everybody. Everything's fine. They only care about your safety.
Musk hating hackers release names. We already covered that. Release names, addresses. Well, it's a website. That's the Daily Mail. We covered the name of the website. They're cranking up the pressure
Would you
there.
buy a Cybertruck, by the way, if it was a gas-powered car and it looked like that?
No,
Just the
I think
appearance
they're
of that
ugly.
thing is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, they're terrible.
They're expensive too. Those are like over $100,000 for the Cybertruck. And yeah, I don't
Hey, the
like.
president bought one, so I guess he's got money. Oh yeah, that's right. He's rich.
Violent attacks on Tesla dealerships spike as Musk takes prominent role in Trump White House. That's the AP telling us, and you can see here the burnout Teslas there. And it's horrible for the environment if you light a Tesla on fire and the lithium battery, ion battery, basically ignites, like, I forget, even we went over it, 3,000 degrees or whatever, and all the toxic chemicals that go into the air from the smoke and so on and so on. But be a good environmentalist and torch a Tesla is the message that they're sending. We're in idiocracy, clown world, literally. It's clearly politically motivated. What do you think of the idea? Is this domestic terrorism?
The vandals?
Yeah, that's what they're labeling it. Domestic terrorism. Yeah.
Whatever. Oh, okay. Well, I've been accused of being a domestic terrorist by various forms of our government just for things that I've said on my social media and people that I've hung out with live on air. So, and of course, we have the returning veterans who pretty much immediately get on that list. So I guess I'm not surprised. They'll call anything terrorism these days, especially rebel groups in the Middle East.
Indeed. Continuing here. That's all the Tesla news. Don't attack a Tesla. Come on, man. It's not hurting you.
They started a wildfire in California somewhere.
Okay, on to the AI robot news. All robot assault opens. New chapter in frontline warfare. Ukrainian drones only attack was the first of its kind and is set to carve a path for more fully automated warfare. And while I guess it is good if it's robots killing each other and not people, what happens when these robots are used to oppress, quote, political dissidents in said country, in Ukraine, in Russia, in America, anywhere, everywhere? It feels like we're fast approaching that point here, Ruckus.
This is concerning.
Was Terminator a documentary?
It was certainly a warning, and we seem to have ignored it at this point.
More. Here's another one of these humanoid robots from our favorite producer of this dystopic technology, Boston Dynamics. Humanoid robot. Let's watch this. Atlas. This thing is very agile, to say the least, and it's only getting better, and this is only what they're showing us, and people still try to claim this is CGI. I believe this is real.
Awesome.
Boston Dynamics.
Is it really that quiet? That's the only part I'm most shocked about, to be completely honest with you. Because I know that I've seen a lot of these demonstrations before, and it turns out some of these demonstration videos lower the noisiness of the drones or the robots, because that's a turn off to consumers. Because when you purchase a drone, you're like, whoa, I had no idea it was this loud. Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm shocked that it's that quiet. It's really weird, very frightening, very unsettling, that one. But that's Atlas for you. That's Boston Dynamics. If you want nightmare fuel, just watch that. Or, tune into what, Adderall? Is that the name of the company? Palmer Luckey? That dude has got some scary AF drones. That's all I got to say. Holy crap.
Fluid movements like a human. Yeah, we just saw it. And this is only what they're showing us. Imagine what they have that they're not showing us. You know what I'm saying? So it's starting to look like Terminator was truly a documentary. I guess if we play Terminator on YouTube and say this is for documentary educational purposes, we'll get a strike. So we won't do that. But I think it's a documentary, just like I thought Animal Farm was a documentary. I guess I think different than...
we shouldn't even say the name of any, copyrighted material. Sorry.
Don't even say the name. Robot dog learns, adapts like humans. Swedish AI startup into iCell says. And so they put out a press release. Startup company has created a robot dog named Luna that has a functional digital nervous system capable of learning and adapting like humans and animals, the company has claimed in a press release. So here is robot guide dog among, I don't think this is the same one, but I was looking for video of it, and all I could find of the Luna dog that they claim learns and has a digital nervous system was a press release. I could not find video of it. But here's a video, a recent one from robot guide dog among AI technology showing off at conference for visually impaired. How long is this clip? Let's show this short clip of.
The robo guide dog's been showing off his tricks for the global experts on technology and accessibility that have come to Glasgow. He's expected to be on shelves by 2026, designed to complement guide dogs, not replace them.
It's equipped with conversational AI, so you could chat with Robbie. You can tell Robbie, take me to the store, take me to a shop. These are things you might not be able to do with a guide dog. Robbie would have an onboard map that can take you and direct you around. For instance, see places like shopping malls, airports. Robbie can easily take you there from one place to another.
Tell me about the Glasgow Science Centre.
It's not just about having another gadget.
The Glasgow Science Centre is a science and technology museum.
The room is buzzing with the latest AI-assisted innovations designed to improve work, mobility and leisure for people with...
The smart cane, that was cool, actually.
See, that's how they get you, though, because a lot of this stuff, you're like, well, yeah, we should be helping these people with disabilities, but then it's like they weaponize it and put freaking rockets and machine guns on this stuff, and it's like, wait a minute, I thought you guys were helping the blind to have a seeing eye dog, now you put a freaking rocket launcher on the back of this thing. So it's everything's cuts both ways, I guess you could say. Okay, continue. The technology advancement is amazing, though, I must say, and it's exponentially.
Yeah, that point right there. If you are a non-believer in the rapid advancement of technology, just pick up your smartphone and play around with it for 30 minutes and think about what you're doing, and then compare that to what you were doing 5 years ago with a similar device, and then compare that to 5 years ago when such devices probably didn't even exist. So yeah, the technology moves damn fast. It's actually baked into how technology works. That's reality. That's not a conspiracy theory.
No, everything is a conspiracy theory. Okay.
Okay, that's fair.
Don't do drugs, kids. This is NBC News. We continue to report on how bad the drugs are. This time, the speed, strung out on speed. Adult ADHD prescriptions still on the rise, especially among older women. The new analysis by researchers at the NIH on drug abuse also looked into how the medications are being misused. And so it turns out that we do have of course they say ADHD is why you need to be on amphetamines. Prescriptions for ADHD medications have been spiking in recent years with the sharpest increase among middle-aged and older women. they're also the least likely to misuse the prescription stimulants. A study finds the rise among women aged 35 to 64 has been substantial. At the end of 2022, 1.7 million women in this age group were prescribed stimulants such as Adderall, Ritalin for ADHD, compared to 1.2 million prescriptions in 2019. We're on YouTube, so Big Pharma is the greatest thing ever, but the stuff is pharmaceutical speed. It is, they tell you right here in this article, amphetamine, Dexedrine, Adderall, methamphetamine, Desoxyn, and I don't even know how to pronounce that, Ritalin, but it's all pharmaceutical grade amphetamine, essentially, methamphetamine, and so on. And this stuff is not good, man. It's not good. It burns out your brain. It causes all kinds of other side effects that are quite horrific, actually, even if it is a prescription there. So I would say don't get strung out on this stuff. And it's highly addictive as well. And so be careful when diagnosed with ADHD and prescribed amphetamines, because it's not, this stuff is it's bad news, man. I don't understand I still and probably never will. What's the difference between you go buy a bag of crank on the corner from a drug dealer and your doctor prescribing it? It's exactly the same substance here now. One's highly illegal, will land you in jail for a long time. The other one, perfectly fine, because a man in a white coat wrote a prescription for you to take this hardcore narcotic.
Well, the man in the white coat did go to a lot more years of college than the local dealer on the corner did, so I guess he's got a little bit of a rep. I don't know. It's weird.
Be careful. I didn't realize this many people were on. And how are you? ADHD is a made-up freaking thing, man.
Yep.
It's literally made up to prescribe you speed. I mean, anyway, that's probably all we can say on the old YouTube about that, because they do love their establishment medical system over there. They do love the Rockefeller medicine system and will defend it. God bless us for the WHO, even though, we're protesting Trump defunding the WHO. How do you like that, YouTube?
Meanwhile, there are still like low offending criminals who are selling and using marijuana in some places, and they get thrown in jail. But yeah, we're like, well, speed for you though. You get speed, you get jail. That's weird.
A flower or something they literally cooked in a lab. Of course, the flower is evil. Okay, continuing here, back to the eggs. Apparently, they're telling us, and this is the White House, I don't know, if you stop culling the birds, then the price of eggs goes down, because more eggs are produced, the less dead birds you have. I know it's hard to understand this stuff, but here's a graph. Here was the culling of the birds on this graph. And you can see they stopped culling the birds right here, right around the end of February. Plan to lower egg prices announced. And then turns out poultry culling, it stopped right here. So I know that's hard I know our audience understands it, but most people, they can't seem to understand. It was because the orange man ate all the eggs, I guess. I don't know, but there was that big narrative in the media that somehow high egg prices are Trump's fault. And for all of his faults, I truly don't believe the high egg prices were Trump's fault. There's plenty of other stuff, real stuff, we can criticize them for. High egg prices, I don't think, is one of those issues, but they did stop culling the birds here. You can see. How are egg prices in your area? Have you noticed?
They went down, actually. But are you suggesting there's some sort of correlation between chickens and eggs? I don't see it.
It's like basic economic supply and demand. When you cut off the supply,
No. I go to my local store, and the chicken is in a completely different place than the eggs are. Those two things have nothing to do with each other whatsoever.
You got me there. Ben & Jerry's CEO removed over political activisms in a surprising move. Ben & Jerry's CEO, by the way, their parent company Unilever, part of the multinational conglomerate of the octopus, essentially.
Look into their history, all you anti-Tesla people, just saying.
But hey, Ben & Jerry's, they're left-wingers. They're the greatest social, political activists. They care about everything. Anyway, their CEO ended up getting fired because he was even too woke, radical, ultra far left. Or you could just say a maniac, whatever, pushing an agenda, even too radical for Ben & Jerry's. And so he wound up getting fired. David Stever, CEO, has been fired. Sad to see you go there. And oh yeah, by the way, read the ingredients on Ben & Jerry's, and they put freaking high fructose corn syrup in the stuff. So they're extremely political, but forget about your actual health and eating our product because we care. Just so fake. So sick of these fake companies, fake people owned by Unilever, just beyond the pale of stupid. So see you later there. Okay, the economy, the Federal Reserve announced today that interest rates are staying the same essentially. So your interest on your loans is going to stay the same. Powell on recession, odds up, he says, but not high. Chairman Powell of the Federal Reserve at a press conference today indicated the likelihood of recession has slightly increased but remains low at approximately 1 to 4%. You can trust everything the central banker there, Jerome Powell, says because they've never lied to us ever. Back to what your point you were making. I don't know about Tesla. It looks like their valuation's down, but X, hey, I guess what old Musk is doing with all the censorship, not censorship, freedom of speech, but not freedom of reach on X. X valuation returns to $44 billion. We're being told the valuation has been confirmed through a secondary deal involving exchange of existing stakes among investors. The company has also raised nearly $1 billion in new equity funding, which is part of a broader strategy to manage financial obligations from the acquisition. The financial turnaround has been highlighted by various reports indicating improved revenues and significant recovery in market perception. And so it's back up to being valued at what Musk and his investment conglomerate bought it for. There, the Financial Times reports.
Let that sink in.
I remember that. That was good. Okay, what do we got here now? We got geopolitical news, a couple more sections. Geopolitical news, aardvarks news, as we're at almost 2 hours. So let me blast through this. Mexico City bans violent bullfighting. Mexico City passed a new law banning traditional bullfighting where bulls are harmed or killed, sparking a mix of celebration among animal rights activists and discontent from bullfighting traditionalists. What do you think of this move by Mexico City?
I have an easy solution here. Quick, somebody call Boston Dynamics, and we can create an actual robot bull for the matadors to symbolically slay. That'd be fun. Yeah, this is culture right here being destroyed. This has been no problem, even through all the PETA stuff and even through everything, But here we are. Weird. I'm shocked. They're not going to do this in Spain too, are they? I don't think.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a push by the activists that care so friggin' much and virtue signal how they're the good people and everybody else is garbage.
Say when the aardvarks start doing their thing to animals, I'm not even going to say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Are people going to be upset about that too? I don't think so.
No, they get a pass. China. And this is where we miss Barry. I hope this wasn't Barry, but I don't think it was. China executes Canadians strains diplomatic relations. An unspecified number of Canadian citizens were executed in China earlier this year for drug-related offenses. Despite diplomatic efforts by Canada to seek clemency, China's embassy in Ottawa confirmed these executions, while Canada's Global Affairs condemned the action, stating they violate human dignity. This incident has sparked a debate over China's judicial practices and its relations with Canada. So a lot
I
of
would
these
hope that they are at least like they're half citizens, like they're dual citizens. Is that they're just not randomly snatching pure-blooded Canadians off the streets? I don't know.
drugs, man, dual citizens. The minister said they were all four were dual citizens. But you mess around
Yeah,
with
I would hope
drugs,
so, but that's crazy.
you mess around with drugs, man, and these countries will kill you. People don't know in America, we're like, we got it easy here. You go over there and you wave a foreign flag in most every other country, they're going to just kill you. You know what I mean? And throw you in a ditch, and we don't know what happened. And people don't understand here in America how liberal we really are with some of the shenanigans that people pull. We've seen it in Russia, in China, all over the place. You go and mess around with drugs in foreign countries. Well, America too, but nothing like this. You're not getting executed. Trump wants to execute you, but I don't think that will pass. But you go and mess around over there, man. A lot of other countries, they're not playing. They're not playing.
In some countries, the shoplifters do not get ignored. They get their hands chopped off. Yep.
Indeed. A lot of Muslim countries, Arab countries, the Chinese embassy in Beijing said they have a zero tolerance approach to drug crime, and apparently they're showing as such with executions of drug criminals. So that would dissuade drug trafficking and drug use when you see that, oh yeah, they're executing people over this stuff. I'm not saying I agree with it. I really don't. But it is a way for the state to put their foot down really hard and crack down on drug abuse and drug dealing and drug trafficking and such and all other
Didn't
crime.
Trump just do he's trying to do the death penalty for the drug dealers, right?
He's proposed such things. I don't know. I haven't seen where that's going, but I've seen him propose that through his rhetoric. So today, Trump's Ukraine claims validated by the Hill op-ed. I thought this was a funny headline. Reality asserts itself as NATO's war propaganda unravels. Dissenting voices are now permitted in the Hill. Shocking, I know. Maybe dissenting voices are allowed on YouTube. I don't know. If the Hill can reform, then maybe YouTube can reform. Sadly, Trump is right on Ukraine. What the hell? What the hell? This guy needs to be censored immediately. I rarely agree with President Trump, but his latest controversial statements about Ukraine are mostly true. They seem preposterous only because Western audiences have been fed a steady diet of misinformation about Ukraine for more than a decade. It is time to set the record straight on 3 key points that illuminate why Ukrainians and former President Joe Biden, not merely Russian President Vladimir Putin, side note, the worst man in world history, bear significant responsibility for the outbreak and perpetuation of war in Ukraine. Yeah, I think this is actually why these points right here are actually why we're not allowed to have a YouTube or a Google AdSense account right now, is this, because we've been reporting the damn truth of the matter the entire time. And the Hill has finally come around and said, well, maybe we should, I don't know. But yeah, YouTube, it seems, takes a lot longer to reform than most other media outfits. So we're going to have to wait and see. But Putin's bad, YouTube, and he's the worst ever. And it's all his fault. Unprovoked invasion. What do you think of possible reform at the Hill and actually admitting that there's two sides at fault when people are killing each other in a war?
Well, I didn't read the opinion piece, but I wouldn't be surprised if when we see these types of things, they make the argument that besides, folks, if we could wrap up all of the things that we're doing with Ukraine, that would give us so much more money and weapons to give to the other thing, the aardvark things, you know.
That would be a good point. They continually say here, first, it was Ukrainian right-wing militants who started the violence in 2014 that provoked Russia's initial invasion. As we continue to report here,
I thought it was unprovoked. I'm so confused.
Yeah, they're saying it was provoked here in the Hill.
Wow, that's a big change right there. That's pretty significant. But it's an opinion. They only do these things through opinion pieces. I've noticed this throughout my career. So when they want to make these shifts, these changes, that way if people get upset and send them the hate mail and the angry letters, like they were some sort of deranged gunman or Aardvark land nuke program people, they say, oh, well, it wasn't us. That was just this person's opinion. You see, it's called cover your ass. They do it all the time.
Second, Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky contributed to a wider war by violating peace deals with Russia and seeking NATO military aid and membership.
Some people I know mentioned that and they got canceled, like literally. This is crazy.
Third, Joe Biden to contribute critically to the escalation and perpetuation of fighting, there. And so let's put that again for the YouTube. If they give me a strike or whatever for this, I'm going to send them this article at the Hill, actually. Yeah, so.
And that last point, we kind of all saw this coming. We all knew that eventually the left were going to slowly start throwing Biden under the bus, and here we are.
Is Biden still alive, even? What?
Where has he been? I saw Hunter. Did you see Hunter? He made the rounds lately.
He's vacationing in South Africa, right?
Is that where he is? He made like this weird, bizarre, like silent video of him, like you could see the stuff behind him, and it was just very weird. And people are like, "What is he doing? Is he trying to send a message? Does he need help? I don't know. It's weird."
Trump, as we reported, I think yesterday or the day before, Trump ended Secret Service protection for Hunter and Ashley Biden. They had a giant team of like 30 Secret Service agents protecting them, and now
that's what he was showing then. He was all alone. I get it.
They've been pulled off the security detail, and so now they are alone out there in the world, like the rest of us.
Swatted. He won't get swatted either. Don't worry.
Don't worry, he won't get swatted.
Although, you know what? I just thought of something. Maybe he should team up with Gavin Newsom and they should do a podcast together. That would be fantastic.
That would be freaking awesome. And talk about all the cocaine.
Brought to you by Pfizer.
Brought to you by freaking the cartel. Okay, Trump-Zelensky call sparks hope for Ukraine peace. We do hope. We say every show we're praying for peace. We want peace. Both sides are bad, Russia and Ukraine. Stop killing each other, for God's sake, over this godforsaken land there. And we went over in detail the motives on both sides, what all's transpired, the history of it. And so it's bad. We're of the position here at Weaponized News, both sides are bad for killing each other. Stop it. So there was a call today, and this is the whole thing. It's like on again, off again. They say here in this report, Ukraine following a prior discussion with Russian President Putin. The call described as positive by both leaders, aims towards potential peace efforts in the region. So we need the peace efforts there, Ukrainian, and then also Zelensky's there in Europe with the EU. President Zelensky claims that Russians aren't ready to end the war. Maybe he's right. I don't know. Such a short press conference that he had there with the EU today. I guess it's Putin's bad again.
First of all, any negotiations, it's a very it's a chance to finish the war. So far, the Russians are not showing that they're ready to finish the war. With regard to the Crimean territory, that would be one of the sensitive and complex issues at the future. The first step is one thing, ceasefire of course, we need to cross some grounds to get there in order to have quiet sky and quiet seas. So they are the correct steps if we want to end the war with a just peace. And then we'll be moving to other questions. Amongst them, of course, would be territory questions. The red line for us, it's if the temporarily occupied Ukrainian territories will be considered Russian, we would not agree to that.
At least they're talking about peace and trying to sort out what's the deal going to be. Something.
True story. The gentleman to the left of Zelensky, who was on the right side of the screen, he's not an abnormally tall person. He's average height, but he just looks incredibly tall next to Zelensky. He looks like a giant, doesn't he? He's probably just like normal height.
He looks like he's like 6'8" or something.
Crazy.
Like 6'10" basketball player or something there. But he's average. It's just that Zelensky's a midget. Okay. They should have.
He's pretty short. Yeah.
They should have put him on the platform or something there. That was President Alexander Stubb there at a press conference in Helsinki. Okay, so Trump has had a call with Putin yesterday. He's had a call with Zelensky today. Hopefully they can sort this thing out. I think it's
he called me today too, in between. That was fun.
Nice. Trump is proposing U.S. ownership of Ukrainian energy facilities. And by doing so, well, let's hear from his press secretary about that today. And then by doing so, he says, well, Russia wouldn't attack them because that would be an attack on the U.S.
This effort and reiterated his willingness to adopt a full ceasefire. President Trump also discussed Ukraine's electrical supply and nuclear power plants. He said that the United States could be very helpful in running those plants with its electricity and utility expertise. American ownership of those plants would be the best protection for that infrastructure and support for Ukrainian energy infrastructure. President Zelensky also thanked President Trump for continuing to push humanity.
We're talking about the call today. I don't want to be invested there. Get the United States the hell out of there, man. You can see how this could easily go wrong, whether an attack by Russia, a real one, or a false flag by Ukraine, or anybody in between, NATO or whoever the hell, Al-Qaeda, whatever. And then we're sucked right back into a war there, right? Like, get us out of this nightmare, man.
I thought there was this thing on the people's hats, the red colored ones, make America great again. Like all this foreign investment and entanglements is not making us great at all. I hate to tell you. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news now. I don't want to be the black pill dealer, but yeah, this is not good. I don't see how this is helping us at all. You know who this helps? It helps Trump because he's a land developer and he's got crony friends that he's hooking up with all this crap. It's wild, man. It's all in your face, too. But what can we say or do about it? I mean, big government is awesome. We love government. We love corruption, right?
Make American imperialism great again, which is what they're doing. War-torn Congo has a deal for Trump. Wall Street Journal tells us, kick out the rebels, get the minerals. U.S. President ally, Eric Prince, in separate talks to help embattled Congolese government. The leader of the war-torn African country has put a deal on the table for President Trump help his country defeat powerful rebel forces in exchange for access to a trove of minerals needed for U.S. high-tech firms.
They're doing this one backwards, like the Ukraine thing happened, and then they were like, well, now we need to make a deal about minerals. They're doing it the other way around with this. This is interesting.
And remember, this is where they're using child labor in these horrific mines for lithium. So you can have your Tesla and virtue signal, but now you're a bad person and on the idiocy goes. But it is quite horrific, child labor, and everybody working in these horrible mines over there. It's quite horrific, bad for the environment, bad for the people. It's just bad. And then, hey, we're going to get into another illegal foreign war of aggression. Congress has not authorized any of this.
Look, this one's very easy. All they have to do, because they're rebels entangled in a foreign conflict somewhere in another country that's not America, Trump, all he has to do is label those rebels terrorists. And now we can do things that don't even involve war action in Congress. It's a very simple formula, people. It's going quite well. So I suggest we see more of this moving forward. This is great. This is awesome. Corruption is my friend.
It is quite awesome, as you say. A post from Simon that he shared for me that we need to report on here. EU launches war and climate bonds with citizen auto-enrollment for their savings and pensions, seeking 800 billion euros per year on top of 800 billion euros over 4 years. EU Safe project, actually safe breaking, Simon said. And then here's the announcement from the European Union there. Commission unveils savings and investment union strategy to enhance financial opportunities for EU citizens and businesses. Wow. What a time then.
I trust Simon to have actually dug through that document, because he made that statement on X, and then he included a couple fun, for the public infographics, and it wasn't quite explicit in the infographics about what these investments are investing in. So you got to go read these boring fine print things, like I'm sure Simon did.
I'm sure he did. So yeah, invest there in Europe so they can buy more weapons. Does it say here? Nah, it didn't say specifically. This can foster citizens' wealth. I trust the government. Everybody should invest in these bonds for sure.
Apparently, they don't have a choice. It's going to happen automatically for them. So, yay.
Let's see. Saving investment. Yeah, they have nice graphics. Good enough for me. Invest. Although you don't have a choice. Okay. Last, let's see, did we get, what do we have here? Any, breaking news? No, maybe not. I don't know. X got slow all of a sudden for me. Okay. On to everybody's favorite defense minister out of Aardvark land, Mr. Katz. We played the clip of him yesterday saying the gates of hell will open if the hostages are not released. Today, he's threatening Gaza with total destruction, stating civilians will pay the full price unless they remove Hamas. Let's watch this short clip.
תושבי עזה, זאת פניית הזרה האחרונה. הסינואר הראשון הרס את עזה. והסינואר השני יחריב אותה לחלוטין. תקיפת חיל האוויר נגד מחבלי החמאס הייתה רק הצעד הראשון. ההמשך יהיה קשה בהרבה, ואתם תשלמו את מלוא המחיר. בקרוב יתחיל שוב פינוי האוכלוסייה מאזורי הקרבות. אם לא ישוחררו כל החטופים הישראלים, והחמאס לא יסולק מעזה, ישראל תפעל בעוצמות שעוד לא הכרתם. קבלו את עצת נשיא ארצות הברית, תחזירו את החטופים ותסלקו את החמאס, ויפתחו לכם אופציות אחרות, כולל יציאה למקומות אחרים בעולם למי שירצה. האלטרנטיבה היא הרס וחורבן מוחלט. תושבי עזה...
Wow, he just quite literally said, we're about to deliver you genocide if you don't accept our nice offer of ethnic cleansing. Literally. This is insane.
They've been saying that. They've been saying either leave or die, essentially. New thousands gather in Jerusalem to protest against the war. on Gaza. And so aardvarks are protesting against their own government. I would deem them hateful and anti-Semitic, and they all are potential Hamas. What do they always say? If you're against the war, then you're pro-Hamas. It's like, no, I'm against people killing people. I'm not pro-Hamas. I don't want the aardvarks to get killed by Hamas. I don't want the aardvarks to kill Hamas. But they're not even killing Hamas. They're killing civilians. But whatever. Don't kill anybody. How about that idea? And it's a hard thing to grasp, because anybody that's anti-war is deemed a pro-terrorist supporter. And it's just this ridiculous narrative in the fake conservative media that they just refuse. They conflate that to being anti-war and pro-terrorist, essentially. So here's some of the, it's just like protest videos. I don't know, maybe, I guess we'll play this one. Here's a short one there in aardvark land. You can see the aardvark police don't take too kindly to protests there. And so if you're anti-war, you're a terrorist in America and aardvark land, essentially.
Makes perfect sense to an entirely dumbed down population who took one too many boosters because you only needed the one, no the two, no the three, the seven. My bad. So,
a lot of them may be strung out on amphetamines as well, as we see.
Well, they have ADHD. It's not their fault.
Well, I guess if you put it that way.
They were born that way, see?
IDF reoccupies Dexedrine corridor, divides Gaza amidst ceasefire talks. And so now it's all divided up into easier kill zones here now. Here's the map of it, and we can see they're systematically genociding these people. And you can see they're even putting out maps. Here's the different, we got controlled corridors, planned corridors, aardvark buffer zone, Palestinian towns, former aardvark settlements, border crossings partially open, border crossings closed. So they're slicing and dicing this up, putting out the maps, and each little section, they're going to systematically go about wiping them out there. So
sure, it's taken them a long time to get rid of this small little militant group, isn't it?
Aardvark forces launch limited ground operations in central and south Gaza, IDF says. So they're back in there, boots on the ground, tanks, robot dogs, who knows, AI, targeting, kill systems. Troops regain control of key areas. Well, yeah, they're literally they literally bombed a bunch of people living in tents. Over 400.
And they do their numbers are like, it's the risk to reward ratio doesn't make sense unless it's the goal of actual genocide, just speaking logically, because who spends that much time, energy, and weaponry and money to bomb this area to only get like a couple bad guys, but at the cost of a couple hundred innocent women and children? That's not acceptable. That's not the way we usually do things. I would suggest that the Israeli Defense Forces suck balls. They're no good at their job. If the job is to get the militants, you're not doing a damn good job. So maybe that's not ultimately your job, and maybe you're actually very good at what your real job is. Just a suggestion. Which is corruption, of course. And we love corruption.
Do I see Hamas behind you?
Probably. You know.
Yeah, so it's full-on ground invasion once again. There. And like you said, either ethnically cleanse yourself, essentially, and leave your homeland, or be genocided is where we're at, which is where we've been the whole time. But they're making the announcements again. And so they've been announcing it the whole time. Hey, they're the good guys, and anybody questioning it is a Hamas sympathizer. And that's the way it is. So, basically, a lot of the world are Hamas sympathizers, but what the hell, deport them. You're not welcome here in MAGA country, that's for sure. That's all we got. You got anything else, Ruckus?
Nah, I think that was it on my radar.
Quite.
By the way, we didn't mention it, but you did bring up the FOMC meeting, which I watched live, by the way, because I'm a crypto investor. I had to watch the charts right next to Jerome Powell as he was speaking to see how it affects the markets. And the markets took it very well, actually, very positively. So the crypto markets are slightly up today. So that was good news. But just before the meeting took place, there was a deranged gunman outside the Fed building too. So this happened not just at the CIA, but also at the Fed building, which is interesting.
Wow, I didn't see that reporting. So the government...
it didn't make big news, but it was happening just before the press conference went down. That's how I knew about it.
The government are the victims. They're the good guys with the monopoly on violence, and you should just do everything they say, or you're Hamas. Essentially, here now in Trump's America in 2025 is where we are. Over to the Odyssey. I see people watching, no chat over there. Shout out to those viewing on Odyssey. The Rumble, always a lively chat going on there. We're missing Barry.
To my Rumble pals, I got logged out of both of my accounts, and I cannot find my login information. Just a heads up. So it's going to take me a few days to figure that out. But I miss you guys.
Thank you. Shout out to the chat there. Who do we got? We got Dual Helix, Karen, Carrie, Lies That Bind, Chloe. Thank you guys for tuning in, keeping that chat lively. Yeah, let's pray for Barry that he recovers from his flu-like illness, and he can come back and join us soon. I'm going to email him too after the show and wish him well, and also tell him he better tune in tomorrow because it's going to be all things geoengineering tomorrow, and we're going to break down extreme weather. So thank you to everybody tuning in on the BitChute, the Facebook, the YouTube, and the X. And that's all we got for this broadcast. As always, everybody do your own research. Peace, love, and liberty. Speak out and take action. Have a great rest of your Wednesday evening. And don't get roped into doing attacking Teslas. I don't think that would be a good idea, honestly. And then as we play our way through, let's play this one from Scott Armstrong's Universal Basic Awesome record, Make It Easy. And he's going to play us out. Thank you very much, Ruckus, for joining us on this Wednesday edition of Weaponized News. Hopefully we can see you back here again next week. Again, everybody, plug your shows again before we wrap up. Where can people find you tomorrow?
I'll be on Boiler Room tomorrow night over at alternatecurrentradio.com. And I don't want to make any guarantees, but I'm 99.999% sure I have new episodes of my show coming out starting Friday. I'm working on like 3 of them as we speak. I'm making a lot of special bells and whistles, pre-recorded segments to then do my show with. So I got a bunch of stuff coming, but you'll see me tomorrow for the Boiler Room on Thursday, which is usually right after your show, Sam. So you can catch both. It'd be great.
Awesome. Thank you. They love you, Ruckus. You got Chloe, Carrie, Karen. Yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Here is, and we love you too. Here is Scott Armstrong, Make It Easy, to play us out.
You're never gonna let it die. Ain't no way to live, so I'm gonna make it real damn easy tonight. Got my bags headed down the road. I'm gonna leave this town, gonna keep my soul. Well, I ain't got time for your silly games. I'll be gone. Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You know, that's pretty much all I had to say. But this beat's too funky to just let it go away. So I'm just gonna